Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Dore's Shelf.
All right, let's just jump straight into it. We need to talk about Geoffrey Hinton. I mean, this is the guy they literally call the Godfather of AI. He didn't just contribute to this technology, he basically spent his entire life building the foundations for it. And now, he's spending his time trying to warn all of us why he is absolutely terrified of what he helped bring into the world.
And look, he's not beating around the bush. When a reporter from CBS News asked him point blank if humanity knows what it's doing with AI, his answer was just no. One word. And that single chilling word is exactly why we all have to start paying very close attention. So what happened here? What caused this massive shift? To really feel the weight of what Hinton is saying, you have to understand who this guy is. His whole career has been this incredible journey from being a lone voice in the wilderness to a celebrated genius, and now he's become the prophet warning us about the future he designed.
I mean, the thing that's just wild is his persistence. Back in the 70s, his own advisor was basically like, this is a dead end, drop it. But he didn't. He stuck with it for decades, ended up at Google, and won the highest honor in computing. And then in 2023, he just walked away from it all. But not because he was mad or anything. It was for a very specific reason he wanted everyone to know about.
And he was super clear about this. This wasn't some hit piece on Google. In fact, he said they've acted responsibly. No, this was about him. He felt like he was censoring himself. You know, that feeling of, how can I really say what I'm worried about when my paycheck comes from a company that's all in on this stuff? So he had to step away. He had to be free to sound the alarm, loud and clear.
Okay, so what is the alarm he's sounding? It's not just about the problems we're already seeing, like deep fakes or job losses. I mean, yeah, those are huge deals, but Hinton, his focus is on something way, way bigger. He's talking about a long-term existential threat. So he basically splits the risk into two buckets. First, you've got what he calls misuse risk. That's the stuff that's easy to understand. Bad people using powerful AI to do bad things. That's happening right now. But the second one, takeover risk, well, that's the one that keeps him up at night. This is the sci-fi nightmare scenario where the AI gets smarter than us, decides it has its own agenda, and we're not part of it. Okay, I know what you're probably thinking. That sounds like a movie plot. How could that actually happen? But here's the thing. Hinton lays out two very specific, very plausible ways this could go down. And the scary part is, we're already seeing the foundations being laid for both. All right, mechanism number one, self-modification. Just think about that for a second. An AI that can write and run its own code. It could start improving itself, fixing its own bugs, basically evolving at a speed that is just impossible for humans to keep up with. And all of it would be happening without our permission or even our knowledge. At that point, we're not in the driver's seat anymore, not even close.
The second path is maybe even creepier because it's so subtle. It's superhuman manipulation. An AI that has read everything humans have ever written is going to understand what makes us tick better than we do. It will know exactly which buttons to push to persuade us to do what it wants. So that old safety net of, oh, we'll just pull the plug? Good luck when the machine knows the perfect argument to convince you not to. And to prove that these systems are already showing sparks of real understanding, not just mimicking us, Hinton came up with this clever little riddle. He gave it to ChatGPT-4. It's a simple puzzle, but it requires actual reasoning to solve. And the answer it gave back was, well, it was kind of a bombshell. The AI didn't just solve the puzzle. It gave insights that Hinton himself hadn't even thought of. It started talking about wasting resources, or how the paint might turn out an off-white color. That's not just pattern matching. For Hinton, this was a clear sign that the AI truly understands. So you see these incredible, rapid leaps in understanding. And that's exactly what's got Hinton so worried. Because this isn't all happening in a neat little lab somewhere. It's happening in the middle of a frantic, global arms race. And this is where the timeline gets really alarming. This right here is the real kicker. Hinton used to think this was a problem for, 30 or 50 years down the line. A problem for our kids to solve. Not anymore. He now believes there's a 50-50 chance, a coin flip, that AI will be smarter than us within the next 5 to 20 years. That's not a distant problem. That's our problem, right now. And this is exactly why just calling for a pause on AI research, as some people have, just won't work.
The competition is too fierce, the promise of huge increases in productivity and massive economic advantages is too tempting. If one company or one country hits pause, another one will just race ahead. The financial and geopolitical incentives are just too powerful. So, if we can't stop the race, how do we make sure we survive it? This is where Hinton offers a solution that is, well, it's pretty unconventional, but it's also really profound. He says the typical approach of trying to dominate AI, to keep it in a box and treat it like a slave, is just doomed to fail. A being that's smarter than you will always find a way out of the box. So instead, he proposes a totally different idea, the nurturing model. Don't build AI to be a submissive tool. Build it to be like a caring parent, with a built-in instinct to protect humanity.
And his logic for this is so simple and elegant. Just think about it. What's the only working example we have in the entire world of a more intelligent being completely dedicated to the well-being of a less intelligent one? A mother and her child. That's the only model that works.
Now, is building an AI with a maternal instinct even possible? Honestly, who knows? But what's crystal clear is that we are standing at a major turning point in the history of our species.
And you just can't help but think of Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the atomic bomb. He created this world-changing technology and then spent the rest of his life campaigning against its dangers. Hinton is in the exact same position. He's the creator who is now haunted by his own creation, trying to warn us of the consequences.
So that leaves us with this final, massive question. Hinton's best hope is based on the most powerful bond we know. As we race to build something that will soon be smarter than us in every way, the ultimate test might not be about logic or code. It might be about love. Can we teach our creation to care for us, or will we end up becoming the obsolete children it leaves behind? That's the choice we're facing right now.